Thanks for taking the time to learn more about SmartConnect. SmartConnect is a no-code, integration, migration, and automation tool. SmartConnect is a powerful tool that can be leveraged by consultants to free up development time. By freeing up your developers, you can get more done with less effort. Let's take a look at this diagram that gives a pretty good summary of how SmartConnect works. If we start at the top at our data sources, you can see we have different data sources such as Business Central, Dynamics Nav, Dynamics 365, Customer Engagement or CRM, text files, folder files. One of the big ones I want to point out on here are web services. Those could be anything that have a SOAP or a REST-based API that we can connect to. Once you have your data source, then we move to that triggers box. That's just saying, when do we want that data to pass between our different systems? Do we want that data to flow real time for those mission critical processes? Do we want to only track the changes since the last time that integration ran? You can also manually run integrations from within SmartConnect, or we also have an Excel add-in that you can push a button and run those integrations from within Excel. You can also call web services or APIs, or even the SmartConnect web service, and you can also schedule out integrations to run any time of the day. After you have your maps triggered, you can go ahead and transform that data. You can do that by doing entity lookups, calculations, some sort of translation, .NET scripting, rolling columns such as grabbing that next invoice number, pre-run validations, or even chaining integrations together. After you transform your data, then you're bringing that data into your final destination. Once again, that could be Business Central, Dynamics Nav, Dynamics 365, Customer Engagement, web services, etc. The one point I want to make here is that with a lot of these data sources and destinations, it's not just a one-way integrations. You can move data between two different systems bidirectionally. Some examples of where you would use SmartConnect are areas where you would have duplicate data entry. If you're entering data into more than one place or copying and pasting from Excel into Business Central, you can use SmartConnect to reduce all that manual entry. Anytime you want to move data between systems, think about using SmartConnect. For example, moving data between Salesforce and Business Central, or Customer Engagements and Business Central, or Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, etc., and Business Central. A great example of this is taking your files from Concur and having those automatically upload into Business Central. When we talk about imperfect data, as you know, data is not perfect. For example, let's say your salespeople have in customer engagement their territory split out as Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest, etc. But in Business Central, there is only North, East, South, and West. With SmartConnect, you're able to translate the data from one system to another and have that data flow seamlessly. For automations, my favorite example is how we use this internally here at E1 Solutions. When someone purchases a module from our website, let's take SmartConnect for example, SmartConnect goes ahead and creates a contact inside of Business Central. It then creates an invoice for the customer inside of Business Central. After that process is complete, it goes ahead and completes an account inside of our CRM system, as well as creates a module and sets an expiry date 1 year from the date of purchase. Let's go ahead and take a look at a real-life demo scenario. We're going to go ahead and enter data into an e-commerce website that we've created. Now, once again, I want you to think about this as any third-party system that you're using. And we're going to take this data and move it into Dynamics 365 Business Central. We're also going to take this data and move it into Customer Engagement. We're going to see this all seamlessly working together thanks to SmartConnect. So let's go ahead and dive into the demo so you can see SmartConnect in action. I'll be using a bit.ly link on the screen to help demonstrate. Now that I have this e-commerce website pulled up, I'm going to go ahead and enter some data. I'm going to go ahead and order a couple products as well from this website. And once I submit my order, SmartConnect in the background has an integration running that's going to go ahead and create a customer inside of Dynamics 365 Business Central. So we can see for Grant's Furniture, not only did it create a customer, we also created an invoice. So we can see on the invoice the 2 products that we ordered off of the website as well. Now, let's say that this customer also wanted to order an additional bicycle. Let's go ahead and create a new order for them. I'm going to go ahead and leave the address blank here because I want to show you that we can have data flow between 2 different systems using SmartConnect. So I'm going to show you how we actually have data pulling from our CRM system back into Business Central. Let's create a reference here for us. So we know that invoice when we see it again later. Let's go ahead and add a performance bicycle in here. And then update one last date. So now that we've created this invoice, we're going to be able to see that SmartConnect in the background is going to go ahead and update this data inside of our CRM system. Let's go ahead back into CRM, customer engagement, and take a look at all the orders that have came in. So we can see here that underneath Grant's Furniture, a contact was created as well as an account. Now, as you remember, we didn't collect any data from the website as far as an address goes. So let's go ahead and add an address in here. And we'll save that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a customer relationship type as customer. One of the benefits of using SmartConnect is you have the ability to filter down data into different data sets. So in this case, we only want to pass data when the relationship type is set to customer. So let's go ahead and refresh this page. And we're going to be able to see that we have that invoice coming in from Business Central, right? If you remember, we had that grant 001 as a reference, as well as that initial invoice that we had come off of the website. Now let's go ahead and take a look into that invoice within Business Central. I'm going to go ahead and do this using a little tool called PopDoc. This is another application available on AppSource via E1 Solutions. We can now see that that address that we entered inside of our CRM system is inside of Business Central. Now that you've seen SmartConnect in action, we're going to go ahead and take a deep dive into SmartConnect itself and see what's powering all these integrations in the background. When we open up SmartConnect, you'll see that we have a dashboard. Our dashboard shows us different links for the latest news, some blog articles as well as some videos. It will also show all the processes that we've ran. Let's go step by step on the left-hand side here. When we're setting up SmartConnect to begin with, we're going to go ahead and click on our connections. This is where we set up our different connections that we want to use. The nice part about this is as soon as you set up a connection, you're able to use that as a data source or a destination. Let's go ahead and take a look at our data sources. Those can be anything from a bulk data source, maybe using the file, a folder data source, or even a query. Or if you remember earlier, I mentioned that we could also do triggers, and we can do triggers on all those systems that allow us to do any sort of a change trigger. The other thing that we can do, once again, is real-time triggers for those mission-critical processes. So any system that will allow us to create a real-time trigger, we can go ahead and create that. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual integration process itself. I'm going to go ahead and open up an integration that's a real-time integration from our D365 Customer Engagement, or CRM, into Business Central. Once this is open, you can see that we give our process an ID and a description. We can also take a look at the source that we have selected. Once you have your source, then you have your destination or your target that you define. As we move our way across the top, you can see that this is where we define our integrations. So we focus on our target integration, where we want that data to go. So on the right-hand side of our screen, you can see that underneath our source column, we can go ahead and define where that field is mapped to. If you don't see that field existing, we could go ahead and create an additional column. This is where you could also add in those translations. One thing that people love about SmartConnect is our error processing. This is where you're going to see all of your processes that have ran, and you're going to be able to go ahead and take a look at those errors and edit those errors right within this screen. One thing to remember is we still follow all the business logic that Business Central gives us. So we will never overwrite that business logic. You can also take a look at your process history, the runs, the outputs, the events, and the logs. And one last thing to mention too is that you can always schedule out your integrations to run. You can have those run daily, weekly, monthly, once a year, however often you would like those integrations to run. Thanks for taking your time to learn a little bit more about SmartConnect. If you'd like additional information, you can go ahead and visit www.smartconnect.com, where you can take a product tour of SmartConnect, as well as see all of the integration templates that we have pre-configured for SmartConnect that help you get started right out of the gate. You can also start a free 30-day trial. In addition, if you'd like to email our sales team, go ahead and email us at sales@e1solutions.com.